Alright, testing the mic, making sure we're ready. Alright, I think we're ready. What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to another YouTube video. My name is Kevin, but I go by Coach Vito, so that's why you see the channel is called Coach Vito TV. Um, I'm a 20-year-old. I just turned 20 about 3 weeks ago, so I just have this YouTube video I had in mind. I took some advice from this YouTuber named Hamza, and he gave me the fire to start this YouTube video. And let's get straight to it. Advice to my younger self. So, number one thing that I tell my younger self is don't get attached. Don't get attached to anything. The people that you're around right now, I remember being 14, 15, riding bikes through the city with a whole friend group. I thought we were inseparable. Sad reality. That's not going to be the case. Hopefully, I'm not wishing this upon you. I hope you stay with your friends, but all I'm saying is do not get attached. There is reality that you could be by yourself, that you could stray off from the friend group and do your own thing, which is totally cool too. But if you stay with your friend group, be grateful for them as well, because I miss having that connection with people and having that bond, which I feel like I have now, but was something that I was missing for a few years of my life. But getting attached to people is something that I suggest that you stray away from. Stay not only friendships but relationships as well, like with a significant partner. Like I was fortunate enough that I found a good girl, and we stayed together for a few years, and we ended up breaking up sadly, but people grow apart. That's what life is about. But not being too attached, I felt like if I went through so much hurt and so much pain from that relationship because I got attached to her. I rather you avoid that pain and don't get attached, and get attached to people, relationships, girlfriends, and things of that nature. All right, y'all. So number two, another thing that I would tell myself, I'm reading off my book that I have here. I wrote down some notes for the video, be more professional. So another thing I tell myself is, at least my younger self in this generation, is to make a life off the phone. I feel like this generation coming up, the younger, which is you guys watching this, hopefully, we're always on our phone, we're always on TikTok, and it's like mushing our brain. We're just overly saturated from the rush of dopamine that we're constantly getting from laughing and scrolling and laughing and scrolling, or seeing something crazy. Because I've been seeing people die on Instagram lately, which is insane. And there's little kids on Instagram texting and scrolling through, and then they see that stuff. It's just not good for your brain. But centering your whole life around an online persona and trying to fit in from having a lot of followers or not having a lot of followers, try to stray off of that. I mean, that's that's harsh. Of course you could do it, of course, but try to develop a life in real life. Like go outside, get some sun, play some basketball, play some soccer, play some sports. But that's for later on. That's another advice I have too. I mean, now that we're talking about it, we might as well talk about it. Join a club or a school sport, something academic, or it could be a sport, anything. Just join anything after school. That's something I wish I would have done. Like, I would have joined, like, I don't know, fucking chess club. Join something to keep you busy, especially after school. I know every time I get done with school, I'd come home, I'd binge eat, first of all. I'd probably take a nap and then do nothing with the rest of the day. Probably do some homework, whatever. But if you have something after school to look forward to, whether it's a football game, which was awesome. I remember I did football one year. That was awesome. And I bet for the soccer kids too. I bet like that feeling you get on the bus ride to go to wherever you're gonna play. Like that was always a rush because you're with your team. You got everybody around you. Even if it's just a lonely sport, like you're doing wrestling, that'd be amazing too. That's another thing. Join a sports club. Join a sports club, yeah, just a regular club. It could be like I know at my school we had like some finance group, like some smart ass kids. They developed like a business. Join something like that. Learn all the tricks of stuff that you're gonna use in the real life. And playing sports is so much fun. You get so much connection, and you get friends for life. I bet there's people that you have right now. If you're in a sports team, you guys are ride or die. You know what I'm saying? But just like before, don't get attached, because we're gonna have you could have a great season in your football year and your football career, but don't get too attached to it, because once winter leaves, there's no more wrestling. Once there's no more basketball, once winter leaves, once summer leaves, spring leaves, I don't know the sports, but you get the point. It's not always going to be around. And then ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, then what if you don't play no more? You're not going to college, this, that, and the other. All right, let's move on. I feel like I'm getting off topic here, so let me get back on topic. Um, Another thing I could say too is tell your family you love them. Tell your mom you love them. Tell your grandma you love them. Your dad, your sisters, everyone you have in your life. Tell them you love them, because you never know. Una nunca sabe. You never know when somebody could be gone. Somebody's here today, gone tomorrow. But just make sure you tell them you love them. And I haven't lost anyone, thankfully. Thank you, God. But just telling your family you love them. That's something that I feel like everybody could use. That your mom could tell your mom, pause this video right now, go tell your mom you love her, and yeah, she'll feel so good. You'll feel so good about it. And with that being said, let's continue on the list. Another thing I tell my younger self, uh, maybe my younger self wouldn't have listened, but it's watch what you eat. Like, your body is your temple. You only have one body. You could change your clothes, yeah, this, that, and the other, but you can't change your body. Have you ever heard the saying, like, your car is a sports, I'm probably saying it wrong, your body is like a sports vehicle, like you're a Ferrari. Pretend you're a super fast car, very nice car. You want to put good gas in that car, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to put shitty fuel, so don't eat processed foods and shit like that. Stick to whole foods, and just watch what you eat and keep doing what you're doing. Um, and if you do end up eating bad, do it in moderation. I mean, that's the best advice, but you're so young right now that you could probably burn it off easily. I know I stuck to that excuse, but the older we get, I know the harder it's going to be, so you got to start watching and looking on top of what you're eating. Um, Another thing, now, this one is super important because this changed the trajectory of my life. Actually, I'm wearing the shirt, this boxing place specifically, Fitness Through Boxing in Long Island, with Robert Vandercourt. That changed my life. Learning, so that's another tip I have for you. I don't know what number we're on, I just wrote a few here, but take on a martial art. It could be anything. Last year I took on jiu-jitsu. I'm still doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu. That's awesome. That's also changed my life. If anything, I feel like BJJ has changed my life to the point that it saved my life. You know what I'm saying? So that's something I could definitely advise you to start doing, which is take a martial art. And for the least thing as well, even if you can't afford it, I know families. I remember when I was younger, I couldn't afford going to paying $200 a month at Sarah BJJ and consistently, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have that money. My parents didn't have that money. So the older I got, once I started making my own money, I decided to enroll myself in, and I have no regrets, guys. Literally no regrets. So yeah, take on a martial art. The first ever martial art I started learning was boxing, and that changed my life. I wrote it here. You develop confidence, discipline, you reduce stress, and me personally, I'm a boxing trainer, so I love teaching it because I'm so passionate about this sport. It changed my life. Like, I was super overweight as a kid, and because of boxing and riding my BMX, I lost a ton of weight, got in the best shape of my life, and I'm just keep going. I'm trying to get better, and I know there's higher levels to get to, and I just want to get to those levels, especially as a coach and as a trainer. And I just love this sport. I love martial arts in general. So I feel like if you're a young man right now, if I was talking to my younger self, I would have started even earlier than I had started. I started when I was 14, but I would have loved to be boxing when I was 8, 9. You know what I'm saying? So um, that's another thing. Take on a martial art. Uh, Lastly, is just be grateful. Yeah, be grateful for everything that you have right now. You have no worries in the world right now. Like, just go to sleep being grateful, wake up being grateful you have another day. I feel like a lot of kids these days, watch what you listen to some positivity, listen to good vibes, good music. Because if you're listening to depression and sad music and sad frequencies, of course you're gonna feel depressed. You're gonna wake up wanting to die, wanting to go back to sleep, getting in that whole cycle. So watch what you consume eating and watch what you consume watching. You know what I'm saying? So I also suggest some bonus tips. Just meditate, pray, and just repeat that cycle. Watch what you eat. With that being said, I got nothing else for you guys. I will catch you guys in another video.